some White House staffers were reportedly baffled by the president's remarks, which I'm guessing that's a regular occurrence now. It seems like it started with Covfefe and just kind of snowballed from there.
No, not at all. I think Jimmy Kimmel's terrible. You know what suspended him? His talent. You know what else is really what? Take a look at this guy, his ratings. That's what got Jimmy Kimmel out. He was terrible. And didn't he lose? I saw a report where ABC...
So what really happens when a politician's carefully crafted image starts falling apart live on TV? One moment, Donald Trump is standing there, soaking in the applause like it's just another win. The next, something feels off, like the moment is slipping out of his control. And just when it seems like it couldn't get any more awkward, Jimmy Kimmel steps in and turns it into pure comedy. But here's the real question. Was this just a quick, forgettable moment, or was there something deeper hiding in plain sight? And why did this small slip hit harder than scandals 10 times bigger?
You have to suck for someone to demand you be replaced by J.D. Vance. And it's not an easy position for Vance to be in because Trump hates it when anyone gets credit for anything, so it really isn't in J.D.'s best interest to do well.
They say, we don't need him, freedom, freedom. He's a dictator, he's a dictator. A lot of people are saying maybe we like a dictator. I don't like a dictator. I'm not a dictator. I'm a man with great common sense and...
Stay right here, because things are about to get messy. Somewhere between a late-night monologue and what felt like a real-life blooper, this moment unfolded in a way no one could ignore. And even worse, it was the kind of thing Donald Trump could never fully shake off, no matter how hard he tried.
Yes, we should be grateful he didn't do an accent. What is going on through that orange head of his? Let me tell you, there's no doubt in my mind that everything he knows about Pearl Harbor begins and ends with a movie starring Ben Affleck. And Israel yesterday launched a missile attack on the world's largest natural gas reserve in Iran, which led Iran to threaten zero restraint if that happens again. Zero restraint is not good news for the country.
Before we go any further, if you're enjoying the video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. There's a lot more coming, and trust me, the best part is still ahead. Now, back to it. Just as the confidence, the swagger, and that carefully polished image were moving along perfectly, reality stepped in and pulled everything slightly off track. And that was all Jimmy Kimmel needed.
J.D. Vance hasn't been supportive enough of his war. The story says Trump has been making snide, annoyed comments about J.D. in private, which, how great would it be if he fired J.D. Vance and brought back Mike Pence? Can he do that? Like when the original Becky came back to Roseanne? Trump touched on a number of topics at the cabinet meeting today, one of the most important being his thoughts when it comes to pens.
See this pen right here? This pen is an interesting example.
Honestly, the setup couldn't have been better. Jimmy Kimmel thrives on moments like this, when a public image crashes into reality in the most embarrassing way possible, especially when that image has been so polished and exaggerated that it almost feels larger than life.
He immediately moved to distance himself from this. He claimed he knew nothing about it, says he didn't know the Israelis were going to strike, but then sources out of Israel said they carried this out with the United States in coordination. So either he did know it and he's lying, or he didn't know it because he doesn't bother to read the intelligence briefings. Either way, it's amazing how one man can know more than all the generals and yet also know nothing at all when it's convenient. And this excursion of his that everyone in his world keeps saying isn't gonna go.
Because Donald Trump has always carried himself like someone who's permanently in the spotlight, even when the cameras aren't rolling. And Jimmy Kimmel understands something important. The fastest way to crack that illusion isn't by attacking it, but by laughing at it in a way that feels just real enough to sting.
Key card might not work when he gets back to Washington, D.C. JD's like, guys, can we please just get back to blaming immigrants for our problems? Remember the eating the cats and dogs? What happened to that? I love that. But anyway, the lives of millions of people are now in the hands of a man who struggled to order a donut. And whatever the outcome, the president has been very successful, you have to admit, in changing the narrative from the Trump-Epstein files to the war. There's been very little in the way of
So instead of treating it like a serious scandal, Kimmel leaned into the humor. He highlighted how absurd it looked. painting Donald Trump as someone so focused on winning and being admired that even the moment itself seemed to push back. He compared it to a kid expecting a trophy just for showing up, except this kid owns the trophy factory. And the funniest part? It didn't feel that far from reality. That's what Jimmy Kimmel does best, turning a small incident into a bigger story about personality and behavior.
It's very inexpensive, but it writes well. I like it. They can't have the pen the way it was. You know what it is. I don't want to give them too much publicity, but they do treat me well. Sharpie.
They do treat me well, Sharpie. he has exactly 0.02 seconds of impulse control. Are we the only country that has a national pen? They should call his a Dully. They should write Dully on every one of them. And he's going to be putting that pen to use. He's about to become the first sitting president to have his...
From there, the jokes only got sharper. Jimmy Kimmel expanded it into Donald Trump's constant need for validation. He painted a picture of success measured not by results, but by how many symbolic wins could be stacked in a single day. Fake awards, recycled praise, self-created achievements, it all started to feel like a running highlight reel. And then he flipped it, bringing the focus to small, almost trivial details, which somehow made the joke hit even harder.
For the many men who socialized with Epstein and did business with him, including one of his former lawyers, Epstein pal and Trump sycophant Alan Dershowitz.
Had President Trump been in charge in 1935, 1936, I think the Holocaust would have been prevented. I think he would have gone in after Nazi Germany. He would have destroyed it the way he is destroying Nazi Iran, and the Holocaust would have been prevented.
It's incredible. Donald Trump is now stopping wars from before.
Next, he shifted to communication style. Jimmy Kimmel described Donald Trump's speeches like an improv performance, where facts are optional and confidence is everything. The jokes worked because they didn't feel exaggerated. They felt like observations that had simply been sharpened into comedy.
Celebrate America's 250th anniversary, Trump is having his signature added to dollar bills. They released an image of what it will look like, and I don't know, it seems a bit subtle for him. The president and his pals in the MAGA media are not happy with me right now. Trump even called into Fox to complain about me tonight. His Apple polishers are all in a tizzy because I made light of the fact that his new head of Homeland Security, Mark Wayne Mullen,
That idea became the backbone of the entire segment. Once people start noticing the cracks, it changes how they see everything else. Jimmy Kimmel kept circling back to it, adding new layers each time without repeating himself. Every joke built on the last.
It's incredible. Donald Trump is now stopping wars from before he was even born. He's a peacemaking time traveler. If Trump had been president, Anne Frank would have been wearing a MAGA hat and getting jiggy to Kid Rock. The Titanic would still be floating today had Donald Trump been born sooner. You have to give them points for imagination. You know, according to the New York Times, in some states, gas prices have now jumped more than 30%.
By the end, that moment wasn't just a moment anymore. It became a symbol, a running joke, and a storytelling tool all at once. Jimmy Kimmel turned something quick into a full narrative with a smooth and natural flow that kept everything connected.
Trump said this is a small price to pay to make sure we stay tippy-top. That's right. Our president uses the words tippy-top to describe our military. But I have an idea. I think instead of spending all this money on weapons to drop on people, why don't we just offer Trump $100 billion of it to go away? The way he paid off and his contractors.
He painted Donald Trump as someone who doesn't just win, but wins big in every direction, even when reality suggests otherwise. And that exaggeration worked because it felt uncomfortably close to the truth.
Committed so many crimes now, they can't even keep who they hate straight anymore. And didn't Trump and his butt-kiss brigade claim repeatedly that Robert Mueller's report exonerated him?
The Mueller Report, which exonerated totally. There was no collusion after all that. The Mueller Report came out, then it was a complete exoneration. Remember the Mueller Report? Oh, the Mueller Report. I was totally exonerated.
This president was exonerated.
This gave Kimmel endless room to build on the idea. He showed how confidence can sometimes replace logic, creating a version of reality that feels convincing even when it isn't. And it all came back to one question: what happens when that control slips, even for a second?
Don't have to sell any more hats, any more Bibles. It's cash up front. Just go back to Florida and congeal. Even some of Trump's foxy friends have begun to question the wisdom of getting into a potentially prolonged and expensive military conflict, especially after he repeatedly promised not to. That means all the president's henchmen are working overtime now to try to sell this, including the world's largest living rodent, Stephen Miller, who took a break from pleasuring himself to ICE agents grabbing parents outside schools to offer this.
Then he brought it back to criticism. Jimmy Kimmel framed it as both a weakness and a source of comedy for Donald Trump. The idea that a simple joke could trigger such a strong reaction became a punchline on its own.
Eventually, basically exonerated him. The Mueller Report came out, exonerating him essentially.
When he exonerates the former president.
Mueller Report basically exonerated the former president.
He was exonerated.
Yeah, sure, basically, essentially, more or less. And now that Robert Mueller is dead, he can no longer exonerate innocent people. And the thing about this is, the thing that makes it so deeply childish is Trump didn't have to say anything. He could have just said nothing, same way he's been doing with the Trump-Epstein.
In the end, he connected everything to everyday experiences. He touched on image, legacy, and the pressure to always appear in control, and how one small, awkward moment can disrupt all of that. What started as comedy turned into something bigger, a story about ego, perception, and power. And maybe the most interesting part is this: sometimes the moments that make us laugh reveal more truth than anything else.